the Collegiate League of Legends Championship. I am Delta. I am joined by my good friend Decoy, who is very kindly subbing in for us today. Decoy, how are you doing?
I am good, enjoying the afternoon. Looking forward to some good games from two really good teams.
Yeah, me as well. Definitely should be some good games, and we will be jumping into Champ Select really shortly. So let me tell y'all about what we are looking at today. So there are 6 weeks of the Collegiate League of Legends season. We are in week 6, and if you are 5-1 after 6 weeks, you are guaranteed to make playoffs. So it's very clear here what the stakes are, because we are 4-1 so far. We need a win. We need a win from NYU. We are playing Western Legends, which is Western Ontario University. They are really, really good. The only team they've lost to so far is the undefeated Harrisburg University. So we can expect a really good game here. Both teams, are at that 4-1 mark, and it's winner take all. So, yeah, it should be a really good one. I'm curious. You obviously we play a lot together, but is there anything spicy in the meta that you think is sort of showing up in patch 11.4 that we might see in this draft?
So one of the things that has been interesting to me has been the rise of this tank jungler meta after it died off a cliff at the beginning of season 11. So
Uh huh.
I think Rammus, Ujer, and Skarner are the jungle picks, assuming that the Hecarim is banned, that I'm
It,
expecting to see.
it's not. Oh my. Okay, so
Oh,
sorry to
wow.
interrupt you, but oh my god. Okay, so we have talked so much about doubt on Hecarim because he is an absolute menace on this champion. So for reference, those of you watching at home who haven't gotten to experience the uh, wonder that is the Hecarim, he has played it 5 times. We are 5-0 in those games, and he has a 13.6 KDA on
And
Hecarim,
what's his
which is
KP?
74.2%. So those are just not real numbers. And so we've heard this a lot from the coach Mystery Van, which is this is a draft thing that we've seen before. They don't ban the Hecarim, they first pick it, the other team goes, okay, we'll pick Udyr, and then Doubt just absolutely smurfs on the Udyr. And I think we might be in for another Doubt special here. I'm looking forward to it. Oh, they ended up picking the Senna instead of the Udyr.
Wow.
I guess they realized that they can just pick it in this third slot here, so they don't have to pick it right quite yet because they can pick it before the next stage of bans. But they will get that Senna away, which is Extrematics next champion. And here we go again. Uh, this is so funny. This is working out almost exactly like last week because the other thing that we heard from Mystery Van was they don't mind floating the Seraphine, which is considered to be one of the strongest picks right now because they got this Braum pick that totally negates Seraphine all.
Oh, wow, that's true. I didn't even think about that. But
Yeah.
his
They played
shield
this once
just
last week, and it went really well. So, looking for the third pick here. It's going to be the Ezreal, your favorite
interesting.
champion, if I'm not mistaken.
Interesting. I'm not sure I like it with this team comp I'm seeing
It's a
on the
little
side of
it's
Ontario, but we'll see. We'll see.
a little spicy. And they do, yeah. So they do pick the Udyr. They know they can pick it without it getting banned away here in this third phase. So we will get another phase of bans, looking like it will be mids and top laners for both teams. This has been pretty standard. But going back to the tank jungler thing you were talking about, obviously we see the junglers for this game. The pick that is actually just the highest priority in all of Pro League of Legends right now that we haven't seen really much of anything coming out of oh, this is interesting. They banned Galio, but Dweed is the Galio player. So, and he's obviously on the Braum. So a little bit of an interesting ban there from Western. But Skarner is the champion that has been prioritized over and over again in pro play that we haven't really seen in these Collegiate League of Legends games. They're going to ban the Tom Kench away. Makes sense. Probably going to be the Seraphine support, but actually I don't mind using that ban down towards the bot lane.
Right, I was going to point out that both of these picks, the Seraphine and the Senna, could be flexed. I mean, it could be Senna 80 carry, it could be Senna support and Seraphine mid, and really you just have a lot of flexibility with your team in that regard.
And the final thing, so I would just like to point out that they've now banned Talon, Zed, and Yone away from Loki parkour. Uh, Giving him some respect. For those of
I
you who
read
don't
it's
know,
still open.
we talk about it a lot. He was the #1 Talon player in all of North America in season 10. Loki Parkour was. So definitely has some familiarity on those 80 assassins. But this is another pick that he's played a couple of times already, and looked really good on. More of an AP assassin, if you will, but played it last week. 5-2-8 on the champion. So definitely has some comfort on the Echo, and if they do end up going that way, which it looks like they will, pretty solid here. I think it works well with what they're trying to do with this very team fighty comp.
Hmm. I'm wondering what they go for top here, because they're not exactly lacking in a front line, but okay.
Ooh, could be the Gnar. And again, so yeah, okay, so it will be the Gnar as the final. Another great team fighter. Selenic has played this already. They played it last week. 2-0-8 on the champion. Selenic has made a name for himself, I think, in a way, as being just an incredible weak side top laner. Uh, Managed to sort of be put in a lot of really awkward situations all year long, and really do pretty much fine in them, and give his team a lot of options around the map because he just doesn't die that much. So we'll be the Gragas as the final pick. That should be the Gragas top lane as a response to the Gnar. And those are going to be the team comps. A couple of interesting drafts, but I mean, the thing that I'm really looking at is, yeah, okay, they've got the Udyr, they got the Senna, they got the Seraphine, but they gave Doubt Hecarim, and I don't imagine that's going to work out too well for them.
Yeah, I mean, draft-wise, I'm a little worried about this Oriana Gragas pick, to be honest. Obviously the synergy there is ridiculous, and with Chemtank on Udyr, he just runs in, Oriana balls him, and they get like free ults off.
Yeah, it's true.
Um, so I'm interested to see how the team fights go. Because if you can time out Meganar, then it's just a 4v5 every time.
Yeah, I agree. Two really strong team comps here. Two very good team fighting team comps. Uh, and yeah, I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see how these team fights play out. Uh, but I don't know. The Ezreal pick is interesting. You mentioned it how you weren't sure about it into the rest of the team comp. You've played a lot of Ezreal. Like, what are you worried about as an Ezreal player here?
So, as an Ezreal player, your biggest threat is obviously the Udyr and the Gragas rundown. Um, Gragas can just body slam into Imagination you. Flash body slam is just almost impossible to predict and has ridiculous combos, and Udyr is just inescapable.
Right.
Um, that plus the fact that Senna's just going to be hitting your front line for free and getting souls off of it. I don't know. Um, I would have gone for obviously they banned the Kaisa, but I would have gone for something that was a little bit more dive heavy. Something like the Samira pick or I don't
It's
know,
interesting you
honestly.
mentioned the Samira. So this is actually I believe this is the, let me count real quick. We've played 5 weeks, 11. This is the 12th game of the year, I believe, for these two teams, for this team at least, for NYU. And
Mhm.
this is only the fourth champion that Extramatic has actually played. So he has 4 games on Senna, he has 4 games on the Kaisai, and he has 3 games on Samira. So this is definitely a spot that I agree. I would not have been surprised to see Samira. However, Samira is notoriously short ranged. And I think that in this team comp, when they're looking at this Echo in the mid, and Hecarim obviously is a melee jungler as well, and Gnar is melee sometimes. I think that they had a much needed range issue that they were trying to solve with this Ezreal pick. So I guess for that reason, I kind of respect it.
Yeah, and I mean it's not like it's bad into the Senna because at almost every point in the game, Ezreal Q is gonna outrange Senna autos. Um,
Right.
you're gonna need to get to like some
Just real
40-minute
quick,
games.
the fact that it's at almost every point is a little scary. Uh,
Well, yeah, exactly.
but yes,
And also
absolutely.
you don't need to aim Senna auto attacks. Like
That's a good
you
point.
just right click on
Uh,
people.
Definitely makes things easier. Some other picks that I don't know we could have seen. It's interesting always for me to see what changes between like our play in collegiate league and pro play. um, is the Zaya has been a priority pick in some leagues. We haven't really seen any of that, but we actually, Ghost actually played Ezreal for Damwon yesterday against T1. So it's definitely a pick that's getting some respect in the pro play, and it was actually played in Senna that time. So definitely not, a completely unfamiliar territory when it comes to that matchup. So will be interesting to see. The
Sure.
other thing I want to talk about, we talked about it a little bit, and obviously I'm hyping up Doubt on this Hecarim, but the highest ranked player on all of
Right.
Western is Cyber. In the jungle, he is challenger. He's played on some proving grounds teams. Occasionally, he's played on academy teams as a sub. So he has some serious chops in the jungle. And yes, Stout has been showing out, but he's also a rookie jungler. He's 18 years old. He just turned 18, and this first year in any sort of competitive setting. So he needs to really just keep that consistency going. And we talk about it a lot with NYU, where it's really patience that ends up being the key in whether or not they do well. And this is another game where they just need to be patient. They need to play to their strengths, and they need to let uh, you know, not let Western take advantage of mistakes, because if they give the opportunity to Western, they are far too good to let those things slide. So that'll
Absolutely.
be interesting to watch. All right, so we are in a Summoner's Rift here. Again, I am Delta. I'm joined by my good friend Decoy. What do you think? If you had to make a prediction, what's your prediction here?
So patience is
Waiting a second. Okay.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, make a prediction anyway. Sorry, we
Um.
were getting some info from I realized that often we just sit here and stop talking, and the stream it doesn't know what's going on because they can't hear our production guy. But we got some information, so go ahead.
So I think for this game, patience is going to be key from both teams. Obviously, NYU has to just play around the fact that Oriana can demolish their entire team with a, a good ult.
Yeah,
And uh, Ontario, I feel like if as long as they play around the fact that Maganar has its timing and usefulness, they'll win any fight.
sure.
So I think it's whichever team is going to be more patient. Um, I do I really like NYU's team comp for being able to win out the solo lanes. I do think that Gragas is going to struggle into the Gnar, and Ezreal is going to have a blast in bot lane.
I agree that the timing of the Naganar is going to be so crucial, and it's all about those windows. And also, yeah, I mean, Ezreal, they should have the advantage in this bot lane and be able to get some pressure early. So it'll be interesting to see how they play around the dragons. As always, that is the story of season 11. It has been for a couple of years. That uh, season 11
Are you gonna see
uh,
an invade here?
is a dragon thing. This is new. This is not a typical NYU thing. Looks like
Okay.
you're just getting some vision down.
Yep.
Fair enough. But dragons matter a hell of a lot these days. So it will be the ocean. We already know it's going to be ocean dragon first. So we will see who picks up that one, tries to move towards that. Both of these junglers have the ability to take it pretty early. So if one of these two teams is able to get some pretty significant bot pressure, they might be able to make a play. We do see a deep ward into the blue buff of NYU. This is interesting because Doubt is actually going to start on the top side, which it looks like will be matched by Cyber. But this means that both junglers are going to be converging on bot lane here around the 315 to 330 mark. And you see the ping come through. NYU knows where the enemy jungler is as well. So they will both know where the pathing is going, and it'll be interesting to see how that plays out around the scuttle crowd.
Yeah, I'm
All
sure the
right,
priorities in the lanes are gonna be
over under. Doubt's clear time 3 minutes and 15 seconds.
under.
Under? Yeah, good choice. We'll see. It's gotten a little bit harder now with the XP changes. It is slightly slower, but I don't think it's actually that much slower.
So one of the reasons I think that this lane is going to be tough for the Son of Seraphine matchup is because Braum can just land his Qs on either of them, and Ezreal can proc it with a couple of auto attacks.
Could proc it so quickly.
Yeah.
We saw this, so the last time we saw the Braum, and I said we've seen this Braum pick into Seraphine once before, it was actually the Braum Senna, which is still very strong, but plays out quite differently. Because Senna is obviously not this proc. Ladon is level 2 here, Selenic is only level 1, gonna take a good chunk of damage, does hit the level 2 though, and is about to be Mega, so Ladon is going to back off, but nice trade there for Ladon in the top lane on the Gragas. As we see, the wave is crashed in the bot lane. Selenic now going for a little trade. Does get a grasp, excuse me, a fleet footwork auto off, but just a little bit of trading going on. As we also see, look at the clears. Doubt is a full camp ahead already on this clear time. He is looking for, yeah, it's going to be about 315. And it's going to be a little bit longer for the Udyr.
Yeah, he's gonna take a little bit less time.
That's gonna be interesting, and the bot lane is really pushed up here on the side of Western, so they might be able to make a play towards this bot lane. But they need to be careful of it not turning into a 3v3. We'll see. Link is walking up. They do have the ward as we see another trade here from Selenic. And now Udyr says, oh, interesting. So they actually do get the bot crab, and it might be a 2 crab. So that's a little awkward if you're down getting 2 crab here by the Udyr.
Well, it was just that the bot lane and the mid lane had priority because early levels. I mean, what's Echo gonna do to Orianna? She's just such a lane bully early against melee characters.
For all of you bettors out there, the under on the Doubt 315 clear did cash, so as usual, his clear is really, really fast. Not a lot to talk about in this early game, you know, just some poke coming around on both of these sides. They've got plenty of it to go around, but you know, I think also we didn't talk a lot about low-key parkour because he's just such the solid presence in the mid lane for this team, but I guess Orianna definitely, as you mentioned, rough in the early levels, and he just needs to make sure that he's not going to let this Orianna get away with too much roaming and keeps Orianna in lane. But so far not too bad, not down very much CS. They both TP back and are going to keep farming up. We do see some Qs come through from Extrematic, but again, not a lot of kill pressure. I mean, you mentioned a little bit about how the Ezreal Senna lane is definitely a little bit, excuse me, the Ezreal Braum lane has a little bit more prio, but not exactly kill prio.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they haven't been able to pull off any more sort of aggressive tactics against the Seraphine Senna, because I don't know, as of right now, I feel like Senna is kind of weak on her own, and the Seraphine helps to back it up, but it's not the strongest lane comp ever.
Yeah, I think part of it is that, I mean, if you look at the health bars, when we look down there, it's Selenic is pretty low, he's about to go Mega, but Ladon, yeah, he's just gonna leap away. You know, Extrematic is pretty low. They've got a lot more health on the side of Western, so they're just gonna look for the dragon, gonna start that one up, and that might be a really easy first dragon here, unfortunately, for Western. So, big first objective, well played from them so far. You know, incremental advantages. Nothing crazy happening around the map yet. No one's really ahead that much, but definitely a nice pickup here for Western as that will get smited through. As Ladon, actually, it's just gonna flash onto the Gnar, and that's gonna be first blood. So that is really big here in the top lane for Ladon on the Gragas, getting that first blood with the keg smash, and yeah, first blood going over the Gragas.
Huh. And it is also worth noting that Doubt is now down at least a couple camps, as well as that dragon.
Yeah, he's been trying to make things happen here for sure.
Yeah, and he just hasn't.
Oh, he's level 5 too.
Oh no.
He's gonna have to be careful here, run away. He does not have flash, obviously, on the Hecarim. It does ghost. Blast Plant is going to take him to safety, but not quite good enough. Yeah, so you mentioned this. It's a little awkward now. The Hecarim's down some XP, down some farm, and you know, we see Doubt on this Hecarim be dominant, but right now Cyber can just sort of do whatever he wants as we see him invade this blue buff, and with the support of Ladon, Doubt's just forced to back here, still level 5. So this is going to be the blue buff. Maybe even they'll donate it. Nope, he's going to give it to Cyber. He's going to take away the Gromp. And yeah, Doubt's definitely falling behind here.
Absolutely, and I think what we're going to see is because this Udyr picked up the blue buff on the enemy side, he's going to be able to give his to the Orianna
That's a
and
really
get
good point.
even more mid lane pressure. And you know, that's just going to continue from here on. Oh wow.
Nice shockwave there. Cyber manages to avoid the convergence as we are going to see the ultimate from Lucky Parkour, but Doubt is here. He's only level 5, but maybe enough pressure to at least save his mid laner, as it will be some damage onto Doubt, but for now, Loki Parkour will be able to get away. And that was close, but not the end of the world, as the ultimate was burned from the Echo, as it was the shockwave from Orianna, but now we're just going to keep seeing this with Cyber just pressuring this jungle. Doubt is still level 5. Ultimate's burned in the bot lane. Level 6 here for the bot lane of Western. Action all over the map. Dweed is ticking down. He flashes away, but the jungler is here. Link does get the kill. Link is going to try to get traded out, but Extramatic is dead as well. Cyber gets a great stun as Loki Parkour will try to clean it up, and will flash onto the kill, but does get rooted. This is a chaotic fight as Loki Parkour gets slowed out. Doubt now has level 6, but the mid laner is here, Orianna as well. Doubt might have bitten off more than he could chew and is forced to take the unstoppable onslaught out as Loki Parkour is now running for his life. And Lynx will pick up one with the Senna ult. Doubt just barely surviving, and the ball from Loyal will take him out as well. Wow. It is a 4-for-1 on the side of Western University, and a dominant performance already. Went from being very close to now a 3,000 gold lead, and Western looking really good here in the early game. Okay, and we're being told that there is a pause coming through, so we will take a look at that beautiful, beautiful Narscan. And maybe you can tell me a little bit, Decoy, about how that fight sort of happened and what you think went wrong for NYU there.
So one of the key things that they really didn't respect enough was that Udyr is just so strong right now. He had 2 full levels on Hecarim at the beginning of that fight, which meant Hecarim didn't have like a very good engage utility, his ult, and Udyr was just like constantly clearing camps in his in Hecarim's jungle. So not enough respect on the jungle pressure that Cyber was putting on them from the side of NYU, I think, was the key issue there.
And it was just such a long extended fight that, you know, Senna was able to dish out so much damage with those auto attacks over the course of it. We see that Senna, you know, Senna's now 3-0, and yeah, that's scary. It's, you know, down a lot of CS and XP in the jungle. Senna's getting ahead, and we talked about that being a winning lane early for NYU. Well, it's not anymore, and that's going to be a hard thing to overcome here.
It'll be interesting for sure. I don't think that the bot lane is over just yet, but yeah, it's definitely going to be a challenge for them.
All right, so we are going to get back into game here, as we should get the stream switched over momentarily to the live feed. There we go, and be right back at it. So a lot of gold in the pocket of the Senna. Not quite the full mythic item, but pretty close for it being 9 minutes, and that is definitely scary if you're NYU. Dragon is up in about 1 minute and 25 seconds, but the issue is NYU just does not really have the priority right now to contest that one.
Not at all. And one of the issues as well that I would like to see NYU start to resolve is some of this vision. That, you know, obviously Cyber on the Udyr just has so much more map pressure because he can roam more efficiently from camp to camp, but
we get a good look at NYU's vision there.
Clearing boards like crazy. Yeah,
they do not see much, so that's a good point. Definitely need to get some more vision down and try and get a better look at where this Udyr is, because if they're gonna make a play on any part of this map, they need to know that Udyr is nowhere nearby. So we'll see if they can solve it. We do see the Seraphine roaming up, and yeah, the vision here, like, you know, they had so much pressure to get this vision. It's really hard for NYU. As we're gonna see Ladon jump onto Selenic. Gonna take a little bit of damage, but Ladon will take his fair share back the other way. And not a lot of, you know, we did see the first blood here, but not a lot of kill pressure, I don't think, anymore as these two get tankier.
Yeah, and it is worth noting that Selenic is now up in farm, you know, even though the Udyr has come top a bit and tried to put some lane pressure on him. It's just not really working out in his favor. Selenic is doing a fantastic job playing weak side again.
And there's another blue buff donation like you talked about, so that will be some more mid lane prio for the side of Western as we see the CAG come through, but not quite the angle. Selenic was taking a lot of damage there, and here's going to be the second dragon taken by Western. No contest there. It will be the Infernal Soul here in the first game of this best of 3 series in week 6, and that is going to be a powerful option for Western if they can pick that one up. So gonna need to put some pressure and priority under these dragons if they can for NYU, but gonna be hard to do so here in this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
So do you see the
here comes
Udyr Saber. Now it's tier 2, but he ran right over a ward. They know he's here. Here's the engage on Tweed. Tweed is shielded off, and the charm comes through. Only hits one member. Here comes the teleports, matched by the mid laners, and it is going to be a 4v4 here. The top laners have no interest. Shockwave misses everything, and the root onto Tweed. He doesn't have the shield available, but here comes the unstoppable force. And no one has died yet. Doubt is barely alive, but Loyal will finally pick that up. Loki Parkour does burn the ultimate, but they're all really low, and it's going to be a double kill for Loyal here. 2 kills picked up for the side of Western, and they're looking for more. Extramatic into Weed, running for their lives as the Orianna comes around the corner. Loyal, the ball misses for now, but Extramatic has nowhere to go, and the third will be picked up by the Orianna, as that is 3 for 0 for Western, and it is all of a sudden looking dire. Selenic gonna try and trade with Ladon, but not a lot happening in that top lane, as they're just gonna get a good chunk and might even get all of this first turret with the platings, and Western University looking really sharp here.
That was not a great fight for them to take. As we saw again, Vision's just been such a big part of this match. And
Ladon! Misses the keg, and Ladon's out of mana. Here comes Megadar. But Cyber's here. Does get the stun. Selenic does get the stun, but he's in trouble all of a sudden. Should have the leap here. If he doesn't have it now, should have it momentarily. There it is. Does get the slow, gets the stun. Here's down, and Cyber is going to die. Well played from Selenic there. And they do get one back, but it is slim pickings for NYU. Get 1 kill onto that Udyr, but that is not nearly enough right now.
No, and we will see Doubt go for the Rift Herald here, which I think is a proper play given the state of the map right now. They definitely need some extra gold from these turret plates.
They know everyone is back, so we'll be able to hopefully get some turret platings, but I actually don't think they'll get the Rift Herald and get it off in time for the turret plates, which is a little bit unfortunate, but still a good pickup. Maybe we'll be able to get some pressure down into the mid lane turret, but as we see, all 15 platings on the map have been untouched by NYU, so they haven't even been able to pick up any of that gold, which is really unfortunate. Definitely a lot of gold that they wish they had, and Doubt has run over yet another pink ward.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with that.
I think he's choosing to just get to the fights faster, but again, it's just another example of how good the vision is. But we actually see, if we could look down, there's maybe a fight here, but there's a pink ward in the bot lane that he definitely ran over when he was looking for that bot lane engage that is just still in that bush.
Absolutely, by the Krugs.
And I think actually that Loki Parkour
also walks right by it.
Gonna take, okay, finally. But yeah, this is like the 3rd time that someone's walked over this pink ward, and it's just so much vision available on the side of Western. And the other thing is they just have a lot more money right now to spend on pink wards, right? Absolutely. And I keep calling them pink wards. Yeah, they're control wards. I don't want to hear it. They're pink wards. They always will be. This isn't up for debate. And Doubt just doesn't have anything left to take.
No, I mean, he can't even farm his own jungle. With the 6k gold lead at the moment, it's just very difficult for NYU to play this out. They're definitely going to have to be super patient on these fights.
Kraken Slayer completed for the Senna here already. Moonstone is completed for the Seraphine. Leandri's Torment in the pocket of the Orianna. Chem Tank for Gragas. So 4 mythics to 1 at the moment, and we're seeing that gold lead start to translate into some meaningful items here. Western is definitely in control of this game, and NYU is going to need to really make some things happen soon if they want a chance. Because the longer this goes with Orianna and Senna and Gragas, the harder this is going to get.
So I would really like to see Selenic has his TP up here, and Drag is up in 20 seconds. So I would really like to see him be able to join someone in this fight.
Yeah, he does need to be careful about it not getting
Canceled.
canceled.
Right. But I would really like to see him be able to pressure, because we really haven't gotten to see his Meganar in fights at all.
It's a good point. If TS NYU, we're not going to talk about that. If NYU can get a good team fight here and get like a good Neganar stun into maybe a unstoppable onslaught from the Hecarim, onslaught of shadows from the Hecarim, they might be able to make something happen. But they're just they've just got another dragon that's being taken on spawn, and NYU is slow to react again as Extrematic's gonna fire the ultimate over. Ooh, a little bit close, but well smited by Cyber, and will be the third dragon already. So we're looking at a 21.5-minute soul here. So that is a really scary prospect. So scaling team cup as the charm comes through, Dweeb does the shield up in time.
Yep.
As Cyber now looking to punish Loki Parkour here in the jungle, but he's just able to run away. And right now, NYU just doesn't have a lot they're allowed to do on the map. Really good job from Western also, understanding that they can just put on this pressure and continuing to do it, as they're going to get a top tower here. But that is, again, not a whole lot of compensation for the big losses being taken on other parts of the map.
No, not at all. And we do see the double chem tank.
Oh, here's an engage real quick onto Loyal, and are they going to get a shutdown here? Dweed does flash, Loki Parkour flashes as well, and does get the empowered auto and a big shutdown over Loki Parkour. The Senna almost changed that fight for the worse, but able to pick up the kill onto the Orianna. Well done there, understanding she was too overextended, and do get some gold into the pocket of this Echo. So a little bit there, not the worst, and it's those sorts of plays. They knew Udyr was top, and they need to make things happen wherever Udyr isn't, because yes, Udyr's 0-2 and 3, but the pressure he provides in these fights is really, really big.
Right, and I absolutely love their positioning here, being able to put, Selenic on the top side where he can just farm, as well as the Ezreal in the mid where he can just also farm.
Yeah. Could we get a soul check production?
Absolutely.
Take a look at the Senna.
Over under on the 80 souls.
Not quite 80, but that is pretty respectable for level 11 on a farm. And yeah, I mean, this is Senna's gonna scale really well, and Ezreal is not gonna scale quite as well as that. So we need to keep making those plays happen. We do see the gold lead now hovering around that 5.5K mark, and there is another dragon coming up in 2.5 minutes, which is infernal soul for the side of Western. So NYU is running out of time to make things happen here, and they just need to really get a good engage. And you talked about getting Selenic in these team fights, and we haven't seen that happen yet. Does need to happen.
He still has TP here.
Yeah. So we are seeing mythics completed now on everyone except for the Ezreal. He has opted for the Essence Reaver as his first item, so he's going to be a ways off of anything beyond that. But
so one of the reasons that I don't like this build from Extrematic is because look at their front line. I mean, you have Gragas and Udyr, who are two of possibly the most tanky players, like champions in the game right now. Gragas just heals a ton, and so does Udyr, and I don't think that the lethality build on the Ezreal is gonna be of much use to them this late in the game. As
the onslaught of shadows is blown by Doubt there, a little bit awkward as the Sir Grumpulus will reset. Some pressure here in the top lane as Baron is spawning, and the thing is right now is, NYU has to respect that Western can just go do Baron. Like, they've got so much gold and so much pressure right now that they probably can just take it if they're not careful. But they also have to be really worried. 1:20 on this dragon, and you can't trade it anymore. You know, a lot of times when we're 21 minutes in the game, you're like, okay, we'll trade Baron for dragon because it's the 3rd dragon. Well, no, this is Infernal Soul already, and this is something that NYU is going to have to answer right now. So we are going to see a fight in the next 60 to 70 seconds, and
yeah, there absolutely has to be one.
it is going to be the game for one of these. If NYU loses, it's probably the game. They need to win this fight to stay in it. Cyber's just going to take away more and more of Doubt's jungle. He is up 50 farm. We see farm leads in every lane right now for Western, and we also see a serious lack of vision, because at this point, it's not even that they're not placing the wards, it's just that Western has the ability to go in and clear them.
Cyber is a ward demolishing machine.
Cyber has the highest vision score in the game. Yeah, he's got a 36 vision score here, just taking every ward on the map. He's had at least 1, if not 2, control wards in his inventory at all times. And yeah, so here we go. Dragon in 15 seconds. Every member is, of course, bot side for NYU. We do see the Gragas top side, but does have that TP. So maybe there is a window while the TP is channeling to make something happen, but these are really, really tight windows, and NYU needs to be really, really cognizant of when that Gragas is joining the fight. So here we go. Let's see. What do you think here about what NYU needs to do in this fight?
So I think they need to watch this Gragas because he's still forcing top lane. So if they can make something happen, oh my goodness.
The case huge unstoppable loss on the TP comes in, but Loyal might just be dead. 2 members stunned up by Selenic here. The stun comes through. Loyal is dead. So is this, but the Senna is well alive. Lynx is in trouble, but Extrematic takes him out. Doubt now it's a 3v2. Doubt going a little bit low. Cyber does take the blast cone away to take them out of the fight, but Loki Parkour is in trouble. Does dash away. Oh, the flash juke, but Cyber still plenty healthy. Extrematic trying to do his best. Jumps in.
Yeah, we're gonna see Extrematic
just
gonna
lay
it down now.
And now it is a 2v1. Ladon is the last member, and that was the fight that NYU needed. They're gonna pick up this dragon. It is not out of the woods yet, but a really good start here for NYU when they need to get back into this game.
No, they can at least see the tree line now. That was a really good fight for them.
They're allowed to be in river. It is the little things. Yes. And that is well done. Huge ultimate from Doubt there, hitting all 4 members that he wanted. And Extrematic was just able to stay alive and deal so much damage throughout that fight. And Loyal just got blown up as well. So he actually, if you look, didn't even get the shockwave off.
Yeah.
That was a huge ability. They were able to just shut that down. And really well done from the side of NYU. But still a 3K gold. Excuse me. Still definitely not out of the woods yet. It is a good start, but are going to need to find some more than just that. And Lynx now is just going to...
Oh my
god! Lynx, he's got 3 items, and they're just going to look on the Baron, and that is...
They have to give it here. I mean, they don't have any priority for it.
We could maybe see a Nard TP, but at best it's a 4v4 without a smite available. And I don't know if they really have an option here, but to give. Doubt just a little bit out of position, not respecting the Senna damage. And that is unfortunate here. We're gonna see, yep, Baron will see Soul, and Loki Parkour made an effort at it, gonna get out with the ultimate, but Ladon does have the Chem Tank, is looking for Loki Parkour. He is gonna run away, but what is Loki Parkour doing? He does get the keg smash. Cyber is here.
To waste time here on the
yeah, I guess
Western,
so.
But I mean, it was a noble Baron steal attempt.
Yes,
I will give him that.
But yeah, I mean, man, we're seeing the Senna now. 5-1 and 7 has the Kraken Slayer, the Gwynsues, and the Rapid Fire Cannon. So really, really strong here on the Senna. The scaling is over. We have in fact scale, and Lynx here going to be a terrifying member of Western University that we just saw Doubt, who isn't exactly squishy, get taken down in 5 or 6 autos by the Senna.
Yeah, I mean he hasn't exactly built any armor items, but he's by no means the lowest health member of their team.
Yeah, well, when you're dealing percent health damage, turns out it doesn't matter that much. As we do see the Senna just running down. Turret will be taken down here. Selenic in the 1v2, and the bot lane is going to try and protect this turret, but this split push here, pushing in all 3 lanes, that Cyber maybe gonna look for a dive as they're just nope, they're just gonna look for the turret here, but Selenic doesn't have a way to defend this, and NYU base is just crumbling. Not a lot left here in the tank. Western has total control over the map. Yes, they were able to get that big dragon fight, but in 2 minutes, they're going to have to do it all over again. Selenic knocked up, but not quite the right angle. Saved by the wall. As we're going to see a fight here. Loki Parkour does not have the ult. No, he does have the ultimate available. The ultimate comes in for the Hecarim, but Selenic is really low, just not have the Mega Farm. Cyber has played the lead. Double kill here, and the huge set of ult, and that is going to be a really clean ace here for Western University. They have the Baron. There is not a lot of base left for the side of NYU, and Western should be able to just end the game here in game number 1.
Yeah, yeah. The death timers are far too long.
Yep, they're going to look onto the Nexus Towers. At the end of the day here for NYU, just weren't able to get enough pressure with the Hecarim, and really, really well played from Cyber and from Loyal, especially that mid-jungle duo doing tons of work in the early game. Delweed is going to jump in, but will just throw up the shield in vain, and it will be game number 1 of this best of 3, picked up on the side of Western University. But all is not lost. There is still another game, a game number 2. A little unfortunate here, but that is how it goes. Man. All right, so give me your final thoughts. Give me 30 seconds of thoughts on that game. We're going to head to a quick break after that.
So I think overall NYU played that game as well as they could have. I do think that they underplayed the fact that they didn't have lane priority early.
Sure.
That was definitely an aspect of the game that I think they could have worked on. Was just understanding that the laners were not going to have priority early in the game. Um,
Yeah.
Other than
Yep.
that, I mean, I really don't have any tips for them. I think Western played an insanely clean game, and there were maybe a couple of points at which they could have played a little better. But all in all, really clean game.
Yeah, I agree. Western just definitely showing their dominance there in game number 1. So some adjustments to be made. We are going to head to a quick break here. And when we return, it will be game number 2 between NYU and Western University. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back, everybody, to the week 6 of the Collegiate League of Legends Championship Series. We are back for game number 2. A little bit of an unfortunate game number 1. I'm joined by Hot Fish here. Welcome back.
Good to be back.
Yes.
Yeah, I was momentarily detained on another planet for game 1, so
Yeah.
I'm back.
Which planet?
It doesn't matter actually.
You don't know, do you?
She goes to another school.
You don't know which planet you're on.
No, I don't know which planet. But look, I'm back. I'm ready for game 2. Backs against the wall, but it's no problem. Our boys are soldiers. They're experts. This will not be an issue. All right, jumping into draft here.
And production, maybe if we could get draft on our end.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So we could see draft. There we go. Beautiful.
Okay. So taking off the board to start. This time on blue side,
so
we have Western.
Yeah, so this is something that we've seen actually very little of from it, which is the red side.
Oh yeah.
They are going to ban away the Udyr. It will be the Ribbon, Talon, and Zed bans again from the side of Western. So
well, the thing is, we're not gonna pretend that we're not biased here, and it's actually nicer when the team that you're supporting is on the blue side because then they're in blue. It's like, oh, they're allied champions.
Sure.
Right? They're not in red. They're not. That happened to me for ages when I would watch LCS. I didn't have a team that I was a fan of. It's just like, oh, blue side because that looks like it's on my team.
Exactly.
So I'm a fan of that. Okay, so starting off the draft here, we're finishing our bans, and the first pick going the way of Western, Seraphine. What are your thoughts on first picking Seraphine?
I mean, I think it's totally fine at first pick Seraphine.
Yep.
It's interesting that they're yet again letting this Hecarim through. And I think if you're NYU, you're like, oh, we get to pick Hecarim and another champion. We'll see if they end up doing it, but it is going to be the Kai'Sa, which was banned away last time, so extra will get that pick. And
he loves this guy.
Yeah, he does. And we know that Dweed is more than happy to play the Braum into the Seraphine.
Yeah.
So definitely doesn't mind that.
Cool little piece of tech, picking the champion that just has a shield.
Yeah.
So that all your job is just like, oh, beat drop, shield, ult, shield.
Yeah, and it is going to be the Hecarim also. NYU, I don't know, gets away with it a little bit.
If I had to bet money, I would have said first round of rotations after these bans. Okay, so headed back to Western here. I did watch all of the first match. The Seraphine ults in a lot of those fights were just completely game-changing, so they're going to have to figure out how to play around this. Senna, again, getting picked up. If that goes over to Link, again, that could be kind of scary. Link's kind of went through the roof. Okay!
And the Rel. So another really
okay.
strong pick here.
So that means Seraphine's headed mid.
Yeah, it is going to be the Seraphine mid.
So this is my initial thought that the way that you can punish Seraphine mid lane by having the champ pool that Parkour does.
Yeah, we're seeing him cover the Echo, the Cassidon, the Zed. Good picks.
Yeah.
Looks like it might be the Echo again.
Maybe not. Okay. They are going to go with the Echo. I like the Echo quite a decent bit because something about the Echo is that the way that Seraphine can eventually punish these assassins later into the game is in a fight. If she ults you, she can't you can't one shot her because you're just charmed. But in the case of Echo, you have movement abilities, you have movement, so it's a little bit more you're a little bit more durable once you lose that just ridiculous damage advantage against the Seraphine. So I like that. First ban Gragas, I like that as well. I don't think Gragas should be allowed to make it into pick phase if you're on red side.
I agree.
I think he's just too strong.
Will be the Thresh banned away here. So interestingly, the Galio is up. They banned it. I'd be surprised to see that Galio ban another time here on the side of Western. Dweed loves that champion in the bot lane.
And it seems like Extramatic loves having a Galio on tap as well.
Kindred is the final ban.
I mean, I guess that's just a cyber pick.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking for things now, trying to get cyber uncomfortable as the Gnar is banned away from Selenic. Actually, I would say that if you're Selenic, you're okay with that, just because I'll be honest, he hasn't looked the most comfortable on the Gnar.
Yeah.
Camille's up here.
I mean, I love Camille. I mean, if they just I think R4 Galio is 100% must. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I love this.
And then you save your counter pick for 5. And look, if there's not a dramatically good reason to not go Camille, go Camille.
I definitely think they'll look for this Camille. We'll see what the Western boys decide to round out their comp with. They're looking for a top laner and a jungler, I believe. So it'll be interesting to see what Cyber ends up on. here. But we do have the Rel. That'll be interesting. Love seeing the Rel. It's going to be, looks like the Olaf. That's an interesting, I don't know if I like that pick.
Yeah,
non-synergistic, I think, with the Seraphine and the Senna scaling. And I don't know.
I
a little bit.
Yeah, and the thing is, right? Oh boy.
Okay.
Oh boy. Okay, we'll get to the allowing in a moment. Okay, Renekton.
Right, that's a much more normal
but
pick.
still, this feels kind of problematic, right? Because when you look at Rel, when you look at Senna, when you look at Seraphine, these are great, I wouldn't say disengagey comps, but they're more reactive, right? They like to wait for the engage to come to them.
When they're late game.
Yeah, as well. Yeah, they scale incredibly well.
In Power Spike, it's a much different timing.
Add 2 items of the same champion for the rest of the game. Okay, and it's gonna be Aatrox.
Okay.
Aatrox.
This is spicy.
All right, Delta, explain to us how Aatrox works.
I don't know. No.
Colorcaster
is. Hello, test 1 2. Okay, sorry about that. Aatrox is interesting. We've seen it in pro play a lot. I really hope that they're planning on trading into the top lane. Yes. So Aatrox.
It's something.
Update.
All right.
It is going to be the Aatrox.
Interesting.
But I believe that it was an issue trading the champion.
Well, this is lovely because we're going to go to an interview. Imagine when we come back, we'll be headed in the game. So no
something like that.
No harm done.
But yeah, so the Aatrox is really interesting because it's a melee champion that has more range on the abilities than most other melee champions. So into something like the Renekton, with those Aatrox Qs, you're able to keep them sort of at bay.
Yep.
You do have to worry if Renekton is able to get onto you with that Slice and Dice. Can be powerful and do some serious damage. But Aatrox, obviously a good team fighter, good split pusher, has a lot of utility. And we've seen it a lot in pro play at various points. It's definitely been sort of ebbed and flowed, but an interesting pick. Interesting. We've obviously not seen it yet this year from anyone, so interesting to see how Selenic does on that champion.
Well, if you've been watching NYU this split, you may have noticed that our boys are phenomenal team fighters. No matter what the game state is, when they are grouped, they have a very solid chance at winning the fight. I really like the Aatrox pick for that reason because he can kind of hold his own in the lane. He's a little bit weaker at 1 and 2 items. He can hold his own, but once you get to 3 items, he's worth like 2.5 Renektons or 2.5 Olafs. Not literally, but he's a lot stronger.
League math.
So yeah, I mean, look, you've got some great comfort picks all around. You've got DeWeed's, world famous Galio, Extramatics, universe destroying Kaisa, the horse.
Yeah.
All right, we got an interview.
All right, Mr. Van, hello, welcome.
Howdy, I guess.
How are we doing today, folks?
Doing well, feeling bad after that first game, but really looking forward to the second game. So
real quick, it felt like we talked about this in the break a little bit. It felt like honestly that they just had the tempo advantage the whole game, and were able to just push the tempo. What do you feel like is like if you had to pick one adjustment to make to like sort of take them out of that? And obviously getting rid of the Udyr is a good first step.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to say that's the biggest error with my draft last game, and I'll own it. We had played the Udyr Hecarim a bunch, but Sibber's just really talented, right?
Week. Yeah.
I mean, we've watched Doubt play the Hecarim Udyr match like every week, literally every single week, and it seems like he's pretty comfortable in it, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Udyr's getting stronger by the day in the meta, and Sibber's. I mean, you guys talked about it a bit. I think
Challenger.
If anybody's going to pilot it, I mean, it's an Udyr favored matchup in the first place. So, while I think in the last few weeks we've been able to kind of take advantage of it, not so much this week.
Sure.
So we decided, it was part of our game plan in the first place on red side to get rid of it. So we took red, just no more Udyr, and I really like our comp for this game. I'm feeling really
we're raving about it. We were taking notice of perhaps some issues with Western's comp. Seems like they're a little bit unfocused. How do you feel about the way your boys need to play this game? The approach they need to take.
We talked a bit about being more aggressive. In bot lane, we got poked out. We didn't really take trades. We didn't really enable our junglers. So, it's the picks, right? So like, it's hard to do that into double ranged comp, double ranged lane. So try to give a lane that's a little bit more flexible. The Galio and Derail is kind of tough, but we're really comfortable on the Galio and what the Galio gives, so we're willing to try that. And Kaisa is really good at dictating lane, and Senna's not as good as at dictating lane, so hopefully
Right.
that works out well for us. We got a jungle matchup that we like, and our comp does a really good job of kiting out the Olaf, which was something that we're like, okay, they may take Olaf, but we're okay with that.
Yeah, I mean the Olaf was a bit of a head scratcher.
Yeah, after going center Rel Seraphine for that late game thing to pick Olaf or Nectin, seems a little disjointed.
Well, and we were talking about how much we like the Aatrox pick because Aatrox is going to hold his own in the lane, and then when he gets to the team fighting, he can just pass 2 items, completely dominate both of those melee champions. Speaking of the Aatrox, I wanted to ask you really quickly. We haven't really seen a lot of Aatrox from Selenic so far this split.
We've seen exactly zero.
We've seen exactly zero. Has that been something that he's been considering, that you've left on the back burner, or was that a more recent development?
It's something he's been practicing like all year, but it's obviously not one of his main couple of champions, so it's been kind of reserved as counter pick. And he wanted it, so we gave it to him. It's that last pick. It works in the comp. I've no issues with it. Every Q applies a Kaisa stack in team fights, so there's good synergies. It goes forward as Hecarim goes forward, and so it works really well here. We consider the Malphite for a second there, just pre-engage, but
R button.
We think this will be a better lane and give us more options. So we'll see how it turns out.
We were a big fan.
Yeah. So the other thing I'm curious about is obviously we've seen very little of red side NYU this year. You guys have managed to be on blue side basically the entire season, but I know we talked last week about this Braum Seraphine thing, and I know you guys feel comfortable on the Braum Seraphine matchup. So it seems to me like, you were like, okay, we'll let your first pick something, and they ended up taking the Seraphine, leaving the Hecarim up, and you get Hecarim Kaisa there. So do you feel like on red side, you sort of got, it seems like you sort of got everything you wanted. But I'm curious if you feel like, on blue side, if there's any disadvantage now though, because one of the things is with Dragon Pit on the other side of the map, it's been a little bit easier. Do you think that changes now the way the bot lane needs to be played around the Dragons?
I think it highlights the need for a bot lane to play aggressive again. As I said, you have to dictate lane, or we're never going to have control over that objective, like you said. And tighten up the vision a little bit too. They had really good warding in our jungle last game.
And it's hard against the Udyr. His vision score was 40 at 20 minutes or something.
Again, the tempo made it. It's hard to blame him, right? Like Braum had to back too often. We can never actually push into jungle. It made sense why. It's just more about if they play with the right mindset and play the way I know they can, we'll be fine.
I'm feeling pretty confident about this one. The last question I have is regarding playing against mid lane Seraphines. How does Parkour feel about this?
He likes Echo into these control mages, so I'm hoping this one's not really any different. I don't have any issue with it. They banned away the Zeds. This is kind of like the next thing we go to. And honestly, I don't think he played the lane really well in the last game, so I don't really think there's going to be any issues. He knows how to.
It was a 2v1 the entire time. It's hard to blame it. You know what? Like, we can analyze last game all we want. The reality was when an Udyr's ahead at 5 minutes, it's just you just can't do a whole lot, and it's like I don't think there's a lot to talk about. But not an Udyr this game should be interesting. I believe we're about ready to go into game. I like the Echo Fox jersey. That's a big fan of that one. Okay, we got about a minute until we are ready to go into game.
There's something else I wanted to ask.
I just also wanted to say is you know what? Losing game 1, it sucks. We've lost one other game the whole year, right? Something like that. But if you want to make playoffs, you want to do well. We're at that year where you're going to play really good teams, and you know what? I think that NYU has the ability to beat them. I'm sure you know that.
Absolutely,
but that's the reality, and you don't get away with playing bad teams all year.
Well, this is I guess the last question that I'll ask. How how confident are you in the boys' mental going into this game?
They seemed actually really okay with it because I think it comes to a point where if you're losing too hard, you don't even care at that point, right?
It's like the solo queue
Like-
FF in 15. You're like, all right, I'll
Yeah,
get
I
to
mean,
the
you're not
next
going to be
game.
upset
Like,
about it. You know,
yeah.
just
Well,
they're just ready for
here.
the next game to start.
Look, preserve mental, preserve ELO, and hopefully they can clutch this one out, clutch the next one out, and head on into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Mr. Evan, thank you.
Yes, always a pleasure. Good luck to the boys, and
I'm
hopefully
sure we'll talk to you more.
we will have some more stuff to talk about after this one. But for now, I believe we're ready to go into the game. Thanks again.
Sounds great. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. All right. Again, that was the coach of NYU, Mr. Evan. We've sort of made it into a recurring segment, the post-2 game 2 draft chat, which is always fun.
Well, it's nice because, certainly post game 1, you can talk about what they had planned for the draft, but post game 2, you can be like, all right, these were our adjustments.
Right.
And in some ways, when they lose game 1, it's actually more interesting.
Right. Well, and we have the advantage of, in some ways, spectator delay. Like, we don't have a choice. We have to wait the 5 minutes.
We have to do something.
So,
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Race on the blue side. We have on the red side, we have your New York University Violet.
although, interestingly, the way that our map is set up, yes, they are red. We were talking about rooting for blue side. They're on red side.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're actually violet.
No,
No,
they're on red side.
No, I understand that that's where they are. I'm making a description. I actually guess location is also
Meaningful analysis from your boys.
Okay,
All right, we're
this
gonna
could be
back to-
really, really, really bad news. Oh boy, and we are off to the races at 45 seconds into the game. Doubt is unfortunately been taken down. DeWeed here needs to be real careful. He might go down as well. Gets himself saved by a little bit there by the aftershock and gets to make it out. But that's a little scary.
DeWeed!
He goes back
He
in.
doesn't have
DeWeed!
flash.
DeWeed, be careful here. No flash. Needs to walk away. And I think will be able to do so. But, in this weird way, Hecarim died early enough that I actually don't think he's going to be too late to his camp. And as a matter of fact, I think if he times it well, you can see we have the ward coming out from Extramatic. If he does this quickly enough, he can just go straight to the enemy red, do some vertical jungling, and maybe not actually lose that much.
Yeah, definitely might be able to do that, but that's really unfortunate there that they were caught off guard. And Ladon obviously hasn't backed yet, but when he does, that's going to be, we talked about that lane matchup at the top lane, and it just got a lot harder for the Renekton. So we'll see how that ends up playing out.
Does he go back and just get a corrupting pot?
No, I don't think you want double starter items. But I think you can just he doesn't back quite yet as
like that. Okay,
DeWeed
here
no
again.
flash.
DeWeed taking a lot of damage, like you said. No flash, needs to be really, really careful here. Skytech can just completely lock him down if he's not really, really, really diligent about his positioning.
Good trade though here from the side of NYU, the bot lane, and we are seeing Extramatic again on more of a comfort pick. Obviously, the Ezreal didn't quite work out. And we talked about how it was the first time he played it this year, as Cyber just mosey on through. No vertical jungling here. I guess Doubt felt like he had to respect the fact that Olaf is just going to be much stronger than him. But it's going to be, I don't even know what to call this, horizontal jungling. So it's going to be both.
Oh my god!
It's going to be both red buff. I've never seen this before.
So this is crot, and not crot. It's addition symbol jungling.
Yeah. So I've actually
this is so weird.
I've actually never seen this. So this is going to be both red buffs for the Olaf and both blue buffs for the Hecarim, which is very weird.
And it's actually like weirdly, both of those champions really want a blue buff for their first clear.
Yeah, I actually, ironically, I think this might be better for Doubt.
Yeah,
and he ends up in this top lane in such a way that yes, Ladon hasn't warded, but I don't know if he might be able to get something done, as we do see the bot lane roam up for the side of Western. Ladon here, though, does have a big wave he's pushed into.
Oh, boy.
Olaf looking for the top crab, though. It's the top crab.
Sibber moving towards the top crab.
Sibber.
And,
oh, Sibber. Yeah.
Excuse me. Is it Cyber or Sibber?
I don't know. I thought it was Cyber.
Okay.
Mystery Van thinks it's Sibber.
Okay, well.
But Cyber's cooler,
We're going to say Cyber. Okay, well, Cyber here, looking at top crabs.
Yeah, going to get both crabs.
So both of these, okay, so both so both of them are going to get two, okay, excuse me. So Doubt got 2 wolves, 2 gromps, 2 blues, and a scuttle.
No, Doubt didn't get a scuttle.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me.
That's
Oh,
that's
no,
the
you're
one
right, you're
difference.
right.
Yeah,
That's the one difference.
Although, interestingly, the other difference is that Olaf didn't get drop on the other. So there's what a mess happening.
Okay.
But yeah, so top lane here. Selenic is going to try and take advantage of the pre-back Renekton a little bit, as we do see Ladon go in. Does have a level advantage here.
Yeah, Selenic needs to be real careful here. He's already been already at a 12 CS deficit down in the bot lane here. The top lane from the weed, just a little bit of poke here.
A lot of damage on
Sky. Yeah, Skytech actually getting really chunked out there.
Good job so far getting some cryo here from the NYU bot lane. We talked about this being so important, especially with Dragon being on the blue side of the map. Going to need to keep doing that.
Yeah, that's actually really important cryo timing, because the way that this works out, I think Boyle's going to be hitting level 6 around the time that Olaf would be able to move towards it, so that if they didn't have cryo right now, this would just like be Western immediately.
Yeah, I agree. So again, just some more pushing coming through. Olaf is here, but they do know. So are able to get away. The Weed's flash is almost back up, which is nice.
Yep.
Definitely going to need that summoner spell in this game. Turns out flash is good. We've learned.
So it looks like we figured out what Ladon for.
Okay, that seems fair.
Yeah,
I think that's a pretty
matter. If Selenic does the same, I think it makes as much, if not more, sense.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
I think the matching executioner calling top lane is a good move.
I actually think it's correct.
I think it might be correct.
Yeah. I mean, because between Seraphine and Olaf and Renekton, I mean, look,
you wanted it at some point.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, because you have, look, when the enemy team has literally 1 Gore Drinker user, that's enough to get a
2 plus at least 1 probably Moonstone here.
Yeah.
From the
Yes.
Seraphine. We did see last night. I was up far too late watching LCK, as I'm wont to do on the weekends, watching Dom 1-2-1.
Doesn't 2-1 suck now?
It was close, actually.
Oh, really?
But before that was a really interesting game where Showmaker, as we're going to see, maybe a dive here, actually.
Well, we're going to have to interrupt Showmaker conversation a little bit for the show.
Selenic
for so long here manages to just
get the tower shot
for just a moment. Seraphine is on the way. I don't know where Selenic is planning on heading to. The stun lands, and the axe lands into Aatrox's back. Go Gadget Crocodile, Ladon extending his lead up in the top lane.
Yeah, very nearly a huge outplay, but somehow that one first shot didn't quite connect onto the Olaf. So will be the Dragon traded though, and actually that's really good awareness from NYU. They recognize, well, there's no one bot lane. Like, their bot lane's just gone. So honestly, they committed a lot to that top lane fight. They committed Olaf flash, they committed Renekton flash.
Yeah.
They didn't get that much.
They committed a Seraphine wave.
That's actually true. That's actually big too.
So
all in all, NYU's not that unhappy with it.
I mean, what's the gold value Infernal right now, Mr. Colorcaster?
Let's see. At this point in the game, probably about, I would call it about 100-ish a champion. It's not that much.
Okay, so that's 600?
But by the time it's one item, it's like 400 a champion.
Okay, so literally right now, that's 600 gold in their pocket.
Yeah.
And then for Western, they picked up, what, 450 between, excuse me,
yeah.
We're going to have to pause for just a second here. We taking a lot of damage. He does have his
Doubt's
flash
here
back
though
up.
for the 6.
Doubt is here. He has level 6. Decides to use Onslaught of Shadows, but unfortunately,
everyone's here.
Cyber doesn't take actually any CC damage, but he just does die anyway. Skytech here going real. Unfortunately, that is Selenic going down. The Croc is getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
No World Ender there for Selenic. So
yeah, he
wasn't able to use that ultra to heal up.
Doubt here being a little greedy. I'm pretty sure
Core is in the area.
Western does know that Loki is here, right? They certainly do now. Okay, Parallel Convergence goes in. We are lagging for a little bit here. Skytech now not dead. You see the Echo Ultimate come in, and he's able to survive. Skytech goes down.
Comes down.
Attic working on the triple kill. Will he get it? Looks like he's going to decide no. The Seraphine range is just too long. He has to back out here. And Seraphine shows up. I misspoke. I said the Seraphine range. I meant the Senna range, but Seraphine's range is long too. And at the end of that, that's a 3?
I think it actually, all told, it ends up being a 4 for 3 for Western. Because it was 2-0 going into that. But a couple of big kills onto the Kai'Sa, especially. And
so, I mean, in a vacuum, we're looking at a 2.2k gold lead, but I think
it's definitely a little closer than that.
Yeah, I think it's closer than that, actually.
But not the end of the world. Dweeb is going to get a taunt here in the SkyTech, as you're going to see the battle of the damageless supports.
Oh boy.
Yes, wow. Lots of trading going on.
Oh boy.
Their health bars have changed very meaningfully.
This is why we need a...
This is why we can't have nice things, actually. That's because of Rel and Galio. It's their fault specifically, and they should feel that.
They, not only can they
should.
They ought to feel that.
They ought to, yeah.
They ought to feel that.
Selenic here now has not opted for the Executioner's Calling just yet. Does have to play the skill gaps, which makes sense. Going to farm himself up. Down quite a lot of farm here to the Renekton, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's
the other thing I'd like to point out is bot lane farm is uncharacteristically not going the way of Extramatic either. So the gold lead here, I think, actually more than anything is made up of DS differences.
Yeah, and what's crazy is I think that Kai'Sa is certainly favored in the lane.
Well, yeah, there's just been some awkward engages and things that have resulted in pressure going the way of the Senna lane, and now 2-0 and 3 on the Senna. However, going for those boots of swiftness does mean that the Senna is not up at all on combat stats, actually is behind on combat stats a good bit. So we'll see if they're able to take advantage of that. The Extramatic is still definitely stronger, but they do have to be aware of the fact that there's going to be more jungle pressure.
Selenic is currently not allowed to play, and there are two people coming upstairs to try and mess with him here.
Seraphine's on the way too.
He's backing off, but there are 3 champions knocking on his door. You see the dominance coming out here. I don't think Selenic is going to survive even to the top.
Wow.
No, he doesn't low-key. Damage back onto Dawn. Parallel Convergence lands, and it looks like Western may decide to back off, or maybe not.
Can't really dive the Echo.
Yeah, especially not with Ultimate. Even though Parallel down, I don't know how much that'll do. He doesn't have Flash.
Get the Rift Herald.
Rift getting blown. This is real scary. Loki here decides to try and move around a little bit. Doubt taking so much damage, and
Senna ult coming through as well. Parallel Convergence again. Cyber though is stunned up.
He will be able to take down Cyber there.
Well, he'll execute.
That's really scary. Down in the bot lane. He'll pick. Kai'Sa, they're going to try and follow up onto the Rel here. He flashes to survive for just long, and SkyTech now just, yamming away on this Galio. The taunt doesn't land. Extramatic running away with a sliver of health up in the top lane. It has gone on for long enough that Selenic has returned.
Yeah, this is a much more chaotic game than the last one.
Take it away, Delta.
I don't know where to take it away from. So, huge shutdown going over to Extramatic. Let's just start there.
Hey, can we look at gold, Steve?
A lot of gold there. Extramatic hasn't backed yet.
Oh my god.
But they're going to get what looks like a 3-second dragon here, so that's huge as well for NYU. Getting this dragon trial. And yeah, they've dived Selenic 3 times and it's done. Okay, fine. However, they've committed a lot of resources for not a lot of return here.
And the problem is they've committed resources away from things that are required for them to win the part of the games that they're going to need to win.
Right, they're not getting these dragons. Seraphine isn't really getting ahead. Senna is, has 2 kills, but it's not the end of the world. As we see the trade come in, the pull from the chain is not quite going to connect, but Ladon does not actually have a ton of kill pressure on his own here into the Aatrox, especially with the World Ender up, as the Dominus and the World Ender kind of just cancel each other out.
And except in team fights where World Ender's way better.
Generally, yes, but not always, I would say.
If your team starts to win the fight, it's way better.
I agree.
So, the thing is, Ladon, would he be literally 46 CS up without any jungle help? No, but he would be really ahead. And in a weird way, I'm kind of puzzled as to why they're putting so much effort. Oh my god, again, jungle help, but this time the horse is in.
I guess this is just play through your strong lanes, but the thing is Renekton isn't the reason they're going to win this game later. And
neither is Olaf.
Neither is Olaf. So I guess, I don't know, it just feels like it's a little bit of a weird commitment here, as we do see Cyber back for the Selenic. Doubt is here, World Ender pop.
Selenic just... This is like, the 4th time that Selenic has died before jungle help has even, arrived. Or not even jungle help, help from other lanes.
That's tough, but again, they're just committing so much
does he care?
No.
The thing is, if you pick any...
Oh, here comes the weed.
A flash engage on to the enemy lane here, but Extramatic is so punished, he's going to end up going down. what started as a really, really good engage, I think will just result in a double kill here, maybe. Yeah, that is just a 2 for 0 going in the direction of Western down the bot lane. Up in the top lane, Ladon will pick up the first turret.
That's a
whoa.
So what happened there is Extramatic tried to use the ultimate to avoid the CC of the Rel, but wasn't quite able to get far enough away after the ultimate to actually avoid it, and what ended up getting dragged into the center of the Rel ability that I definitely know the name of, the ultimate, and ended up getting stunned up as well.
It's like Magnet something, right?
I don't know, probably.
Wait, I think it's literally Magnet Storm.
Magnet Storm? That's boring.
Can we get a confirm in the chat? Decoy, I know you're around. Look it up.
Official research man, Decoy.
Okay.
It is in fact called Magnet Storm.
Okay, sorry, go ahead. I remember because it's a really stupid name.
So, but what the idea was you ult back and then get out of the Magnet Storm, and then you don't get stunned. But didn't get out of the Magnet Storm, got stunned up, and unfortunately the fight was lost there. So, I mean, big CS gap in the bot lane as well, and that is a little awkward. The gold lead actually is almost 6,000 now.
It's a lot
with the first turret, so that's a little bit rough. But the tempo, I would say, is not nearly as problematic here, as it is a Cloud Soul, which is pretty good on a lot of the members here.
You know, what's crazy about the situation is that, you know, look, you can, you know, because of the situation that NYU is in, they're 2 dragons ahead, right? They can just give, like, whatever dragons they want until they're infinitely stronger. They're going to decide to not just do that. They're going to go in, try to damage. Your Skytech has to go out after using the Magnet Storm. Double ultimate landing from Seraphine, and there's so much damage going down on NYU. Are so chunked. This Renekton is doing so much damage. Parallel Convergence Lance doing absolutely nothing, and so far it is a 3 for 0. Honestly, if they want to dive, I think they can just make this a clean ace.
That looked like such a good fight for NYU, but we talked about, the Renekton isn't going to be the reason the game later. Well, right now, he is going to be the reason they win fights.
Yeah,
and that Renekton did a ton of damage in that fight. It looked so good for NYU, too.
Well, and another great ultimate coming out from Loyal. Look, this is the power of the Seraphine, man. The champion is busted. Okay, the horse has seen the crocodile. Bye-bye, horse.
Yep.
Doubt headed to the death round once again. Currently, Ladon, 7-1-5.
Yeah, he's
yikes. All right, NYU. This is my open letter. This game is not over.
No.
It's very, very winnable, but don't go for engages.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it looked so good, though. It was like a 5v2, and the Renekton was just able to hold 3 members at bay until the cavalry arrived.
Yep.
Loyal, I don't know if you saw what he did with his ultimate, but he ulted on purpose one of his allies, knowing that it would extend far enough to hit the enemies, which is a good awareness there. It's a tough skill shot to hit at that kind of range like that. So it will be, again, it's about a 9,000 gold lead here.
Yeah,
which is a lot.
I mean, like I said, you have a 2-dragon advantage right now.
The farm differences are just so big.
Yeah, but you know, since you have the 2-dragon advantage, just don't worry about it. Don't even vaguely bother warding or grouping for it or anything. I mean, they are.
Well, I mean, they might be able to get some priority here. We'll see.
I don't know. I think you would rather just not die. I think you'd rather just not give up more map control. I mean, you're so.
On the other hand, if you can get the 3rd dragon, you're in a really good spot. So we'll see how this ends up. Looks like they're going to look maybe to fight this.
And it looks like there is an engage coming out here. Down already so low. That's the jungler dead. This fight is pretty much just over already. Parkour going so low, as is Dweed. He is ignited, ticking down, and that is Ladon on him. Ladon unstoppable now on the Renekton. Yeah, this is
yeah, that was a little bit desperate from NYU, and while I don't necessarily think that looking for some sort of fight is the end of the world, that fight I think was probably not.
Well, I agree that looking can be okay, but the moment it looks bad, leave.
Right.
All right, let's get a soul count really fast here.
Yeah,
Mr. Selecki,
this is just getting really rough. Like we talked about, okay, well, Olaf and Renekton aren't going to carry this game late game. Well, there might need to be a late game in order for that to happen, and I'm not convinced that there's going to be a late game.
Yeah, this is a little scary.
We do see the mythics now completed mostly. We do not even have a mythic yet for the Aatrox in the top lane, and you can't really blame Selenic here. He's gotten so much attention, but unfortunately it has worked out in the favor of Western, and just not able to get enough on other parts of the map.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, look, boys, got to get real composed here real fast.
Doubt now. A little bit in trouble here.
Yeah, Doubt needs to get out. Yeah. Selenic is here, and there comes the Gallo.
No, the rest of the team's here.
Yeah, they're really
Oh,
scared.
Doubt.
Storm comes in, and what looked like it could be pretty good just turns into a wash.
Did you see that? They actually turned to Baron, and it's not up yet. So they can't even take Baron.
This is
rough.
yeah. Cannot buy a dub right now.
So, yeah, SkyTech now. Again, we are at that point now where there's just not a part of the jungle that you're allowed to stand in if you are NYU. Loki Parkour is going to be forced to burn that ultimate just to get away. And there just isn't enough left here for NYU, I don't think, to really get into this game. It's now a 13,000 gold lead at 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That is absurd.
I mean, look, you know, this is. I hate to say this. This game is looking over.
I think this game is probably over, yes. Unfortunately, it was going to be another turn in the top lane, another turn in the bot lane.
When you scale this much better, you know, I can cognitive dissonance my way out of like, you know,
actually scale. Oh,
out of like a 5,000 or 6,000 gold lead or
Yeah.
something. But this is not. This is too much.
There just isn't an opportunity to scale here.
Yeah.
So Dawn is an unmatchable power now in this bot lane. He has the Gorgekicker and the Kempug Chase Sword completed.
Yeah, approaching a flame horizon already.
That's huge. And the fact is, Western's just really, they just look really composed.
Yeah.
And, you know, Cyber's just, I mean, obviously really talented, very skilled. And it's just been a little bit all over the place. And, you know, NYU's just felt a little disjointed here in this game.
Well, I mean, you know, the fact of the matter is you play against a team that plays. Oh, the Wii. Are we okay here, buddy?
The Wii.
Going right into the pit.
Oh, no.
No fear.
Goodbye.
That was a misclick, right?
I think he must have thought it was lower or something.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on there.
Ooh, missed the smite, actually. Cyber did, but it's not going to end up mattering.
Yeah, I mean, look, you know, when you have this much
15
pressure
now on the gold lead.
Yeah, this is rough, man. This is rough.
Decoy is for calling Seraphine Ultimate a tough skill shot.
It can be.
I think it is at that, but you have to like think about sending it through one of your teammates.
Look, when it's easy, it's very easy.
Which is a lot of the time.
Yeah, but the moments where, you know, you can be very creative.
Yeah, there's a lot of...
You can be very creative.
Yeah. So, NYU now. I guess they're allowed to farm their jungle for now. Like, there just isn't any goal to take on the map to get them back into this. This lead's just going to keep getting rougher and rougher. And, yeah, it's 15,000 gold lead, and we actually haven't even the Baron push come through yet. Cyber's just going to run at this horse.
I actually think Western could just, like...
I think they could probably end.
I think they could, yeah.
Loki Parkour are going to look to try and make something happen on... The Link is definitely not going to go down there. As the ultimate is burned. The Seraphine ult is burned on the other way, but... Man.
A Seraphine ult going wide here, I don't think... I mean, right now, I would ask to look at gold, but I think there's about to be a fight, like, any second now.
I think that several Western players would need to unplug their keys.
I mean, yeah, look at this. You know, there is literally a 2-item difference in the top lane.
Yeah.
And there is at least an item difference in every single lane.
This is...
Oh, boy. Okay, well, pushing into the stand. Selenic is just gone. He dies in the cast animation of World Ender. Pushing on to the Nexus Towers here. Nexus Tower number 1. I think NYU is going to decide to hold on to their KDA here for a moment. Magnetstorm members, that is a 2 for 0. Now about to be a 3 for 0. 3 for 0 taken. The Nexus is about to go down. Extramatic is so low. NYU did their absolute best, but in game 2, they will go down. What is happening? Okay, I think this should just be it. All right, folks, that is that game 2 match. The only 2-0 that NYU has suffered this season.
Only the second loss.
Only the second loss.
Yeah, they lost that really close series to Penn State.
Nail-biter week 1, yeah.
Week 2.
Excuse me, week 2. Yeah.
Week 3 even. I don't know.
It was one of them.
It was definitely a week.
Yeah. All right, folks, welcome back. I'm Hotfish. This is Delta, although I'm a little bit of a sadder Hotfish, and I think he's a little bit of a sadder Delta. Talk to us about what this does for standings.
So my understanding is that only 5-1s make it.
Sure.
I'm not sure it's a little unclear. I'll be honest. It is the documentation does not quite say like it says that 5-1s make it. It doesn't necessarily say that no one else does. So I'm not sure if it becomes a 16-team bracket no matter what, with the best 4 and 2s ending up making it, which I believe probably NYU would be one of if there are.
Yeah, I mean because
our tiebreakers are good.
Yeah.
Well, no, Penn State I believe actually is not a 5-0.
Oh, really?
I believe they actually might have been eliminated already before this week.
Wow.
But we did lose to the 5-1 team that lost to the 5-0 team, which helps. So
Sure.
I don't know, but my understanding is that probably we don't end up making playoffs now, which is unfortunate.
It's rough stuff.
I'm not. We will of course get confirmation for that. We're not sure yet.
Yeah.
Hopefully we will know sooner rather than later. That is not the end of the road. There are other events and tournaments to be played. There is the Timo Cup, which is the you didn't make it, but congrats for trying tournament.
It's the consolation bracket.
Essentially.
Yeah.
There is also throughout the year there will be other non-Riot tournaments that I believe NYU is planning on playing a few of. I'm not sure if they are this spring or perhaps later in the fall, but there are definitely other things. As for Collegiate League of Legends itself, it's officially sponsored, barring 4-2s making it. This is the end of the road, unfortunately, for NYU. Congratulations to Western University for making it into the playoff bracket. Well deserved.
Indeed.
The fact is, they just were the better team today. And that is how that goes.
I mean, folks, the thing is, when you're playing a tournament setting where there are 6 rounds, and I'm speaking for myself and Delta when I say this, we played a lot of 6-round tournaments in other games. There's not much room for error.
No.
When you're playing an LCS split, right? 18 matches, you can have some mistakes, right? Or in the NBA, right? You can let some games fall away, but when you're playing 6 rounds, you need to assume that you won't make any mistakes, and then hopefully the ones that you do end up making don't cost you.
Right.
There's just not a lot of room for slippage.
Well, and the thing is, this is an NYU team that hasn't played together before. This year.
Yeah, and when they look good, they look.
There is a lot to like. There's a lot to be happy about. I think there's a bright future for a lot of these guys. I mean, Doubt came in. He's turned 18 in the middle of the season. And
that was killing it.
He's been great. Obviously, Selenic has played some really exceptional weak side games. That side ended up being a weak side everything.
Yeah,
that was a little unfortunate.
Extramatic, man.
Extramatic looks. I mean, the fact is this team should be really proud of the way they played. They took down some. I mean, the win against Carleton last week was just gutty.
Yeah,
really well done, and there's a lot to be happy about. So, hopefully, we will see more. I mean, I'm sure we will see more of this team. Hopefully, we'll see more of this team in some interesting, high pressure situations where I'm sure, they have the talent. They just, there's some things that come with being a first season team together. And you know what? The fact is, this last game against Western, their lowest ranked player, I believe, was Grandmaster. They had a jungler who almost made it to LCS.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard.
It's hard. Like I said, there's very little room to err. But Delta, do you have any words before we sign off?
Well, I'd just like to thank everyone again for watching today and all season long. Big shout out, of course, to our production guy Steve, without whom this does not happen. I'd also like to give a shout out to Zoc Aaron for casting this year. He's not here today, and also to Decoy for stepping in today to cast with us.
Yeah, we'll try and throw their their socials on. I mean, Decoy is at Decoy Grenade.
Aaron is at Aaron B. Vanek, VANEK. Please follow us on Twitter. We need validation.
I'm at Museum Hotfish.
But hopefully we will see more of NYU. This is I believe, the end of the road for this bracket, but it is not the end of the road for the team.
Yep,
and we'll see them again.
Well, and as always, I have been Hotfish, and it has been a pleasure.
I'm Delta. Goodbye.